What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. This video is going to be about the company GTII and their CEO and his battle against the hedge funds and the market makers. Now, their CEO has been very animate both in the media and online about his disdain for the shorts and what they have done to his company. And he has taken action for the past year against the Hedgies, trying to defeat them. What has worked, what didn't work, what did work, and can we use this as a roadmap as to what we can accomplish if our CEO will take the proper actions. Now, I know how some of y'all feel. Why don't we just wait and see? And that's fine. But here's why we have been stuck in this rut for over a year and a half. And why I don't blame Adam Aaron for sitting on his hands and not doing a damn thing against the Hedgies. Why? Don't get offended. But this, I guess I'll use the word, was one of the laziest fucking set of investors I've ever seen. Alright? When you are engaged in a war, you have to proactively fight in that war. And for over a year, all we heard was just buy and hold. While other CEOs and other companies actively took the fight to the Hedgies. Now, I see a switch, kind of like a tide being turned. The retail investors today have an attitude of what can we do? Tired of this shit, let's end it. So I went back and I took the chart and I took all the news articles and every bit of information that I could find and I laid it out on GTII's chart and explained each one of the tactics that they used against the Hedgies. Now, the very first one is GTII announces a warrants dividend. The dividend warrants are not registered, not tradable within the market, and are only available to shareholders of record as of April 1st, 2021. This news article come out on March 1st, right here. When it came out, you notice that GTII continued to consolidate, and then boom, it had a rip. Now, it was said that on April 1st would be the cutoff date for the warrants. And we see that after the warrants were announced, they had a run up, but then after the record date, they got pushed down. All right. So warrants didn't work. Now we're going to look over here and I'm going to explain why warrants didn't work against the Hedgies. All right, and you're going to be blessed with this, because if you don't understand how warrants work, when you get through with this few-minute video, you're going to have an understanding like that of how warrants work and why they use them. So, warrants didn't work. Why not? Well, you got to understand what a warrant is. A stock warrant is like a stock option. All right, you know stock options work like this: that you have the right, but not the obligation, to buy a security sometime into the future for a certain price. Let's use AMC for example. Right now, if you buy an option, you can buy an option for, say, $30 call option. Well, you have to pay a premium on that. When you exercise your option, you get those shares. Like an option, the holder of a warrant also has the right to buy the shares of a stock at a fixed price during a defined period of time. So, using Hycroft for an example, let's just say I own 5 Hycroft call contracts that expire on August 19th for $1.50, which I do have. Now, you own 5 Hycroft warrants that expire on August 19th. What's the difference? The difference is warrants dilute the stock. Options don't. Here's what I mean. If I exercise my 5 call options, I'm giving 500 shares of Highcroft. And if you exercise your 5 warrants, you were given 500 shares of Highcroft. What's the big difference? The difference is when an option is exercised, the shares are coming from the stock's existing free float. For example, AMC. AMC has 516 million shares. They issue out the options. The options are exercised. They take those 100 shares. They have to go buy them on the open market or however in the dark pools, whatever, to cover the options that were exercised. This comes from the free float, the shares that already exist. However, when a warrant is exercised, the shares are created new and added to the free float. So in this case, you got 516 million shares. You exercise your 5 warrants. They have to create 500 new shares to give to you. It doesn't come from the free float. It's new shares added to the free float if warrants are exercised. So what does that mean? It means when a warrant is exercised, it dilutes the free float. It adds to it. But when an option is exercised, it doesn't add to the free float. They use the shares of the free float to cover the option, but the warrants are a different monster. Just like an option, with the exception of they will create the new shares if the warrants are exercised. That's the biggest difference. It dilutes the stock. And that's why right here on April 12th, when they released the press release that said the warrants distribution notice and how their shareholders can redeem them, they went on a 4-day decline. All right. Then it had a bounce and continued back up. But after the company released how to exercise your warrants and how to get your new shares, the stock tumbled again by, let's see, from here to here. GTII lost 51% of their value once the warrants were exercised. So we can learn warrants dividends did not work in the fight against the hedge funds. The second thing that I noticed was on April 8th, they said that they would give an update regarding the non-fungible tokenization efforts, or NFTs. They're trying to create an NFT dividend, which we're going to get into in the next video, and you're going to see how they're setting up to issue an NFT dividend to each shareholder, which they believe when they give the NFT to their shareholders, this should expose the shorts, because there's no way to counterfeit an NFT. You have to have the original. So with that, love y'all, be blessed. Warrants didn't work and dividends didn't work. We'll look at the next step, which was coming up. What did they do next? They're updating on what's going on with the token, and then he takes action on making the token become a reality. Did the token work? We'll see in the next video. Love y'all, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.